Hi everyone. We're gonna bring Shana Hill in. How exciting. Hello. Hold on, I'm trying to bring Shana on. I don't know why. Good afternoon. Shana will be on in a second. Flash on there. Hi, Carrie, Tanya, Crystal, Karen. Oh my goodness.
There we go.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, everybody.
We already have a pretty large group, Shana. We're gonna be popular today.
Oh. So what shall we
For
start with?
all of you. Yeah, well, first of all, I'm Amy Masters, and so I don't know. Last week, I decided I wanted to try these tech talk things, and it worked out really well. And so our first guest with Nail Techs Helping Nail Techs is Shana Hill.
Thank you. Well, I'm Shana Hill. I've been in the business 30 years. Started out, you know, loving it, loving the art of it, loving to be self-employed. I found that I work well with others, not for others. But but yeah, just I have a passion for it, and I'm still, when I go into the beauty supply, I'm like a kid in the candy store. I can't control it. Just gotta leave. And I'm excited to learn some new techniques like the stamping and stuff like that that's new. Because you're always learning, no matter how long you've been in the business. If you don't have an open mind, then you're done, in my opinion. I think it's really important to keep up with different techniques, different products. Um, just be informed. So when your client says, "Well, what would be the best thing for me and why?" You can tell them, and you don't feel like, "Well, let me look that up." You can look more
Yeah.
professional, informed, and, well, this product wouldn't be for you, even though you've heard it and you like it and your friends wear it. But if you have a different work, or so a lot of it depends a lot on what this does for a living, um, what product.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of cutting out on my end a little bit, Shana. I'm not quite sure what.
Can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you, but for some reason the voice was kind of going in and out.
Oh,
And that's the beauty of going live and with the internet.
oh, it. Yeah, and we have like the worst service here. So spot in the house.
Yeah, yeah. You had mentioned about if you didn't like change with the industry that you were kind of out and you were just done. And I have I have definitely experienced that. I lived in a town that was very big. It was easy for me to build my clientele. Of course, that was 25 years ago when nails were there wasn't pink and white. Let's just say it was all just a very gorgeous opaque pink yellow color. And you had to polish every all the colors up on top. And so it was easy to kind of change with the industry years ago because there wasn't, when we went into the stores, it was just acrylic and it was just polishes. And your biggest decision was like, what buffer did you want to get, or what color polish did you want to get? And now you are right. It is like, it's Christmas anytime you go. And now, nail mail, anything that we get all the time, there's such a variety and there's so many companies selling the same thing, but they all have different ways of applying it. So then you're like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? And it can be mind-boggling. But if you don't get out there and try, you're not, it's fun. It's fun to, try all these different techniques and all the different talents that people have from just perfecting shapes, let alone the hand art and now stamping and everything else. So it's been a lot of fun.
The shapes are what get my attention. It's like, wow. I mean, there's so much talent, and not just our group, but all other groups I'm on. Um, just I've tried doing stilettos and it's like, okay, I need practice on that. It's been so long since I've done a real super long set of nails that,
Hmm.
my clients are, active length. So I like when I do a pink and white, I do it further back. So it looks longer than it is. And that's
Hmm.
a lot of what my clients like. I have one client that does wear them a little longer, but oh, hey, Sonia. This is my buddy Sonia.
Well, do you see? So Tanya asked if this is the live right now, and yes, Tanya, this is live. You get to ask questions, and we will answer them to the best of our knowledge. You have our undivided attention for, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour to just communicate. Is there something that's been hard to text and capture, on our group to be able to get the right answer? Maybe we can do it live and maybe it can come out a better way. So, and you know what? It's just kind of fun getting to know who we're talking to and be able to come live with them. And every week I'm going to come on with a different person. And at the end of this live, I have some awesome surprise for you guys all. So, anyways, but Shayna's our guest today. And she's been doing this a long time. So if you have questions on how to build a clientele, she's an acrylic specialist. She does art. She's had a big salon with lots of hairdressers and everything, all the way back home, to being in a home salon. She is a perfect person to ask so many questions on building a clientele.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've, not only helped a lot of people that I've worked with, you know, we train each other, and we want each other to succeed. So, you know, just you got to brainstorm, you got to think out of the box when you're trying to build. Because back when we were building, it was like leave your business card at every restaurant you went to and flyers, and there was no social media, there was nothing. And now you can reach so many people all at just one time. It's like, it's just mind boggling.
Yeah. I love it personally. I've kind of embraced, I mean, geez. So I'm just going to admit this. I've only had a cell phone, like a cell phone at all, since 2008. So I'm not even 10 years that I've had a cell phone. And then with that, I've only been on Facebook for the last 8 years as well. I mean, so really, this is still so new, but if you don't get on it and understand it, you're wasting because there's so many opportunities and it's free to get on here and you use it for your business and network. So,
Mhm.
you know, get on the bandwagon. If I can do it, you can do it.
Well, and yeah, I mean, I'm in a small town, you're in a small town, so it's extra hard for us to get the word out, because I grew up in Denver and then my whole career was in Aurora. So I just recently moved up here and working out of my home. So it's hard to build. You
Yeah.
really got the extra effort in when you're not.
Hmm.
And I see
Yeah.
some questions coming in. Crystal says, seem to struggle with getting my nails to look slimmer. Any advice would be appreciated. Um, what I usually do is I will usually bevel the nail. Um, holding your file. I'm not an e-file. I'm more of a hand file person. I use the e-file for a few things. But just hold your file at a 45-degree angle from the sidewall and file inward towards the middle. And that usually will help get the bulk out of that side. Because if you keep taking going straight and following the um, growth of the nail, it's just going to be bulky. You're not going to have that nice curve from the sidewall. So that's how I learned to make them slimmer.
Yeah. Yeah. And I completely agree with that. There's a lot of times that I'll more bevel a nail rather than keeping it rounded so it doesn't have a bubbled up effect, I guess. Um, and I sculpt a lot, and so with sculpting you can give the illusion that a nail's a lot thinner as well. You could taper the end down. You can do that as well with the tip. I just found that with sculpting I could do that a lot better. Um,
Mhm.
so a slimmer now. And it kind of depends on the client's shape. I remember, who knows who told me this, but I just remember it from all the years, that we're supposed to match the free edge to the shape of the cuticle.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know if you guys can see, and my nails are 4 weeks grown out. So my nail bed is very square. So when
Mhm.
I wear a short nail, and if it's rounded, I'm gonna have kind of a, I don't know, I think it looks like club-like on mine. I don't look good with the stiletto. And so therefore, sometimes it's the shape of their actual nail that you kind of have to go with that. Some people, it's just going to be harder to give that more slimming effect. And I can't work with long nails, so therefore I'm stuck with the shorter nail.
And I used to wear my nails very, very long. I have none right now because my friend Sonia, I can't drive that far, so which is a bummer. I got to figure out some way to put my nails back on.
Yeah.
But when I do wear them, I was taught to not make them longer than the length of your nail bed. Any longer than that, then you need to change where your apex is. You need to, strengthen it in certain places so it doesn't look bulky, but you want them to last. So
Right.
I like to build up the sides and like right at the free edge. I put a little bit like right below where the white is. I'll put an extra bead right there. And then change my apex to right above the smile line. So, you get a little bit of a curve when you're filing
Mhm.
it. I mean, a lady that she wears them, I think they're probably like 2 inches long, and she goes 3 to 5 weeks. And
Mhm.
only has to take, she's like, put it in the door or something. Breaks them, they never lift on her, nothing. And that protein bond, what Sonia turned me onto that. That's an awesome.
Right, right.
Even my stylists, they don't lift and they're in water all day.
Mhm. So Sheena Dowd had a question on here a little while ago. It says, "What's the best way to deal with weak, thin nails when doing gel polish manis?" And actually, you just kind of gave a good point in there. Is protein bond is a great, I call it double-sided tape for the nails. It will help everything kind of adhere to even just regular polish. So a weak nail that might have a little extra peeling or might be, very flexible. Getting something like a gel polish that's flexible would work well with them, and the protein bond would be another, added addition to that as well.
So you can use that protein bond with anything, with any of the products. That's what I've heard. There was, I can't remember his name, but he did a live and it was he said you could use it with regular polish, with gel polish, with acrylic, with whatever you're bonding to the nail because it's protein and your nail's made of protein, so it's going to work. So,
Yeah.
but to use it for, I want somebody to come in for a manicure so I can test it on them, but all I have are acrylic.
Yeah.
But Angela says protein bond. It is. an acid-free bonder, and Young Nails makes it. And no, here I get it from Cosmopro. I don't know if you have one where you are, but it's awesome.
Yeah. So Tanya, to answer your question, I just thought it says, "Wow, should I leave then because I didn't pay because this isn't a free one, right?" So I do a couple different things. This is the Tech Talk Lives. These are free. Do not leave. You're supposed to be right here, asking questions and just taking notes, whatever it is that might pertain to your business. The other thing that I do is actual workshops where like there's one tomorrow that you'll sign up for, and you're right on those ones that goes into a private group, so therefore it's not just open public like this, and those ones are $25 a person. So no, stay here, come join us.
Well, and I saw Tanya asked a little while ago about mixing products. Um, I'm not a fan. The products are made to be used together, between your liquids and your powders, because um, the molecules are the same. They're made to fit together to build that strength. If you have two different molecules and they're not going to stick, the integrity of the product is you're going to have lifting or cracking or something. I know some people mix and it works well for them, and that's great. But I personally, I stick with my product. I use Creative Retention Plus, and I use the powders that go with it. Um, your bonders and stuff, you can use different products on that. Like your protein bond, I used to use no lift nails for my primer long time ago. Your dehydrator, those things don't have to worry about it, but you really want the whatever system you're using, your acrylics and your powders and your liquids to go together.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with that. Over the years, I've tried with different brands and stuff like that, and they really are made to go together. Some of the powders might be self-leveling, and with the right monomer, it really is self-leveling. Some are not, and so those are definitely made to go together. And I personally just use the primer that goes with that system because, as well, that's made to go with that system. But when it comes to the protein bond, your pH bonds, your dehydrators and stuff, those ones are what you can kind of mix around a little bit on. Karen says, "What do you do to advertise to get new clients outside of word of mouth?" Well, that kind of ties into both of us because we had to only do word of mouth for years. And so both of us have learned over the years how to continue to advertise. So, Shana, I'll let you start off and then I'll answer that as well.
Well, I haven't done a whole lot of advertising. Just I had some surgeries and stuff last year, so I actually did take some time off. But I gave business cards to one of my clients that's a stylist, and she works in a salon with, several other people. Um, there is a nail tech there, but, if they have overflow or whatever, there's only one. So, she's will occasionally send me some clients. Friends at church. I've gotten three or four friends at church. My friend Sonia, she's full of clients. So she sent me one lady, and that had a domino effect. Because so if you do a really good job on that one referral, then they're going to tell everybody. And then, domino okay, new first time client, you get free art. You get a referral that's free art. So they're spending, what you would have done $5, $10, whatever for. But then you've got a client, the repeat business, and the quick, the one-time client is like prom, a lot of stuff like that, that they're going to just get a new set, and who knows if they'll keep them on. But you make a good impression on that first referral, and they're going to drag it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend that. Along with it, you can do flyers, you can do um, in magazines and stuff, but it can get expensive. So if you're willing to do the footwork like we did back in the day, um, still build. I built all day. I had a 2 month and I worked 7 days a week. So it can be.
Yeah. So I've done from like the referral cards. So when a client comes in, they get a card that says like $5 off. And if the person brings that in, then not only did the person get $5 off, but then so did the client. And what I learned though is I was losing $10. And when I do my cost breakdown, I found out I wasn't even making $10 profit. So I was kind of losing there. So I've learned over the years that giving discounts, I tell people all the time, do not discount your work. And I can repeat that over in capital letters. Do not discount your work. When you actually do a cost breakdown and you know what your table cost is, your product cost is, your overhead cost, you will be surprised how much little money you actually make. If you Google an average nail tech internationally, our average wage is $10.81 an hour. That is less than a minimum wage in most states and around the country. But we love what we do. We think that we make more, but the reality when it comes down to doing our taxes is that we're around $10 an hour. So therefore, when you give a discount to your clients, you are making them $5 an hour, just that little bit. And so I have found other ways to be creative on having to be able to give like a discount. So what I do is I always say rise above and offer more, because the reality is you're comparing yourself to the salon down the street. So the salon down the street and you might have the same prices. Discounting it might bring the people into you, but then you don't make any money. So what if we went this way? What if we said for every full set, I'm going to soak your feet and paint your toenails to match your nails? They're not getting that at the salon down the street. And it's so in product costs, it might have cost you maybe $2 or $3 extra, and time, which you have because you're still building a clientele. So therefore, why not use the time and keep somebody in your chair and make it look like you're busy and offer them something a little bit more that they wouldn't get down the street. So I always say rise above and know your competition and know them on a friendly level to where you can refer people back and forth to each other and then create that networking. And with that,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes when it comes to business cards, I did something different. So I had my business for 18 years in one location on a main street. Everybody knew about it. If you're traveling through, you saw it. So about a year and a half ago, I moved and now I'm at the base of a mountain in a town where I don't know anybody. And 20 miles away is our grocery store. So how convenient is it just to drive, go get your groceries, go do everything, get your nails done? So I moved into there. We don't even have a grocery store in our town. There's no place for me to advertise. There's not a newspaper here. There's not an upcycle just for our town. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I thought I was only going to be able to pull the clientele from my little town. I didn't think that the people that live 20 miles away, that there's 52 salons, would drive all the way here to come see me for their nails. But they do, because I rose above and I offer something different that all the other salons don't. And for me, the unique thing that I had ended up being artwork. I had no clue that my artwork was going to be what excelled me above the rest of them. And so they do. They drive. So a total, on average, it's about an hour. So a half an hour here and a half an hour home to come visit me to get their nails done. And I never discounted because they drove out here. I never discounted anything. What I said is I will make it worth your drive. And I think that's what you need to do is make it worth it. Pamper them, let them know that that appointment is about them, have conversation. So here's how I advertised. I have it's called Groove Book. It costs me $2.99 a month, but I can upload 100 pictures off of my cell phone onto here, and then they mail it for free. So really, you get 100 pictures for $2.99, and they come glossy and all that, and I can submit whatever I want. So what I did is I took pictures of nails that had artwork, because that was what I got known for over here really fast was artwork, and I had my name, address, phone number on it. And so this is my business card. It's an actual picture of nails that I've done, so it made it larger than a normal business card size, so that if it did get pinned up somewhere, It was already bigger than everybody else's. It was pictures of my own work, so it made it unique. It wasn't just my name, address, come see me kind of thing. And anyways, people would bring me these and they're like, "Oh, I grabbed this card." And here I'm thinking, I'm like, "Oh gosh, they're coming in with one of my photos." And it worked. And you know what? It cost me $2.99 for 100 of them. So I just kept doing it and my work kept getting out there. And so that was a unique way of doing business cards. And it worked for me. So I hope if you guys try that, it works for you.
Yeah,
Tanya, you said you tried to send me a message for tomorrow's class but couldn't. I will message you after we're done with live and try to work that out so that we can try to get you into that class. And oh, Vicky's joining us and Shell's on here. There are other admins on our group for nail techs helping nail techs. Heather started this group just this year, and we're at over 15,000 members. I'm the only one from the United States. Well, no. Sorry, Shayna's here from the United States. She's in Colorado. And so it's funny because the conversations that go on 24 hours in our group, we have enough admin to continue keeping it live and keeping it active for the entire time as well. And so, hi, the rest of our admin is here. That's wonderful.
guys. Yeah, I was gonna say, in about the advertising and stuff, when I moved up here, I did have people follow me, and it's about 35 miles um, from where I was. And, they were just like went to other people to try something closer because I gave them that option. I didn't feel like I didn't push them, and I didn't, show that I expected them to come. It's like, it's your decision, whatever you want to do, if you want to try it. So everybody that tried another salon closer, I got calls. Okay, I'm coming back to you. Where's your address? So if you do a good job and you make an impression on those clients, not only are they going to advertise for you because their nails are a walking advertisement, um, but they will travel. So, like you said, Amy, it doesn't matter how far away they are. You know,
Mhm.
they want to come to you, they're going to come.
Yes, yes. I still, I'm blown away. I get emotional every single time that I think about it. But I still have clients a year and a half later that drive almost 2 hours over a mountain all year round to still come get their nails done. And I'm blown away by that because it's those connections that you've made. And gosh, I wish everybody could do that. But then I love that I got to build up a new clientele and I got to experience a whole new I don't know. I got to play around a little bit more and almost reinvent myself being able to start off new. And
Mhm.
so I'm thankful for that as well.
Yeah, I think, sometimes even when, I went through probably 5 or 6 burnouts, and you do when you've done it this long, you're just like, oh my gosh, another set of nails doing the same thing. But it's, you just gotta like working out. You just gotta tough through it. And,
Yeah.
maybe pick something else to do. Take a class, do something out of your box of just sitting there repetitive day after day, same thing. Um, that'll get you recharged and you may get your passion back again. And sometimes people don't, but we I got my salon because the owner prior to me was compromised the integrity of the salon. So we just bought her physical assets, changed the name, all that stuff. And we basically, my ex and I basically did it so nobody would have to move. We could all still stay together. And there was 20 of us. Um, and that was, I'm glad to say I did own, but I don't fit that role, so I will never own again. Um, there's certain people that are cut for it and certain people that aren't. But I was glad to have helped those people that, then they didn't have to go find a new job and find all spread out. We all had been together for like 15 years. So
Hmm.
it's fun. You develop those friendships with the people you work with and clients. I mean, all my
Hmm.
clients are friends.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That too.
Sometimes it's hard to find that fine line to cut them off because once they have your cell phone number, it's almost like you are now BFFs. And it's like, well, I have my friends and I have my family and I appreciate that you are a client and I appreciate that you support me and stuff like that. But there is a fine line where you do have to keep it business because you can get yourself into a lot of people's situations that you're honestly
Exactly.
you wouldn't normally be in. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Um,
I had one client that I actually had to fire. She called me at 11 o'clock at night, and her oh, what would you call it? Her history with me was not the greatest. By a few things, but when she called me at 11 o'clock at night just for a trivial thing, I got so mad that I just shut my phone off. So after that, it's like, you just got to shut your phone off or ignore the clients that are calling you, and just, if they really need you, they'll text you or leave you a message. Um, you don't want it to interfere with your life because that can cause a burnout because you're always working. Because every time you talk to a client, you're working. Every time you sit at your desk, you're working, so you've got to break it up and get your boundaries with those people.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I'm very kind and I'm a pushover, but I'm very strict when it comes with that because when I'm home with my family, I am mom and I'm wife and I'm a chef and I'm a house cleaner and I disconnect from the salon. And now I work long hours. I love what I do for work and I love the clients, but you're right, you have to disconnect that because if not, you lose sight of who you are really. And
Mhm.
what really, really matters is your family and family first. And it's hard because if you're supported by your family in the idea of having a salon, they're going to support the extra hours that you put in or the extra time that you spend online ordering or like for me, the extra time that I'm on live, even, doing stuff like this. My family supports me in that
Mhm.
and and so it's a good compromise there,
Right.
but clients are the same way, if they want to be a part of your family, they need
Right.
to respect your home time and all of that as well. So moving on, Tanya, you wanted to know how long it takes to get these cards. To get a groove book, you get online and you order it, and they come once a month. You can order multiple books. So I would believe that if you were to order, if you submitted in some pictures and you had them pre-done with like PixArt or something, and you had your name, address, phone number, your hours, whatever you want to say you specialize in, like really put a lot of verbiage to it, attract them to you. That you would probably have them within 2 weeks. Like I said, though, you can order multiple books. And so there's lots of ways that this groove book is set up, but that's how I used it for business. And then I saw another question on there was about what we thought about mobile salons. Shana, what do you think about mobile salons?
I tried that for a short time. And it wasn't really mobile like a camper, set up or anything. But people that I knew, I started off by going to their houses, like a couple people that had surgeries and, couldn't drive or whatever for whatever reason. And for me, it was just too ridiculously hard. Packing up everything, having two of everything when before I met my husband or after I met my husband, his daughter-in-law has a salon up here or had one. So I was working at her salon one day a week and then working down in Aurora. So I had to have two of everything. Then I was running around to people's houses. And I think if you're going to be mobile, I would definitely recommend doing something like a camper. you know, then it's separate from their house. You don't want to once spilled acetone on a table and I was mortified. It's like you don't want anything like that to happen. So I would definitely recommend doing the camper idea if you're going to do mobile.
I can't agree with you more. I, at one point in time, decided I was going to try mobile. You're in somebody else's home, there's different smells. They might think that you're there as a convenience for them. They understand that, but they've
Mhm.
not set aside everything in their life to be a convenience for you. So their kids are running around, the dogs are running around, the neighbor might stop in, they're cooking dinner while you're doing your nails, and you're not going to get the best adhesion. You're not going to have the best time for you. And it took longer. So what I could do in a salon or in like if you had a camper set up, you could get them in, you can get them out, and you're in your hour and a half time frame. When you're in their home, I swear to you, it was like 3 hours. Look at this picture book. And then you have a different relationship with them. Now you are becoming more of a friend hanging out at their house. It was harder to disconnect. And then they don't want to pay the full amount. But really, being a mobile tech can be so much more expensive with your overhead than it is to have a storefront. And so not only are you dealing with time and the waste of some of the products because of it spilling over and all the extra containers you have to get to make them good. I, I'm going to say for those of you that go mobile, good for you because you have a lot more patience than I do. And and you know what? It's harder. It's a lot harder to go to them than to have them come to you. And you can't pamper them in the same way. Somebody had just posted the other day that they went mobile. They took their table, they took everything. But what they didn't think about is that they needed to take chairs. This person had no chairs. She sat on the armrest of the couch while the client sat down, I'm assuming, on the couch and had to use like this, I don't know, tray or something. No, guys, rise above and be more professional. It's nice to be able to go to their home, but how much do these people need to get out of their home and be able to come see us as well? You know, like our environment is homey for them in a different way. So,
Well,
anyways, that's
and sorry to interrupt you. But adding to that, it's wear and tear on your body too. I mean, after doing it for so many years and sitting and bending and being a contortionist doing pedicures. I mean, I quit doing pedicures a few years ago, and my back is fried. I've had shoulder surgery, I've had hand surgery. You know, it's it's hard, more hard on your body than you realize. So, especially if you're going mobile and you're in a situation like that with no chairs, you're going to have aching muscles where you didn't know you had them. A whole new position trying to hold everything steady, and it's like, yeah, I'm not for that. They can come
yeah.
to where,
Yeah, not that I'm against being the mobile, but I think there's ways of being mobile where people are converting these, buses and cute campers and stuff like that, and keeping it professional, but still making it a convenience for the client. So, okay, so Sheena has a question. It says, I mainly only use gel polish. Is there any reason not to sprinkle some acrylic powder on the base coat of the gel in order for to strengthen the nail? Well, Sheena, you gotta kind of not be embarrassed. So I've been doing this for about 5 years, and I do it on every single client. And I didn't know that I was onto something until a couple years ago, and I turned in the patents for it. It's in phase two. I got the paperwork back today. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to have a patent for a system like that I've been using. I sculpt with it. I put it over tips. I do everything with that. And so I'm a believer, but I've also narrowed it down to the right gel and the right acrylic and the right, let's say, ratio for it. And so you're kind of making me talk about it a little bit sooner than I wanted, but it's happening. So just keep in mind that if we don't experiment and try things and believe in what we're doing, now I say experiment, but not like chemical reaction experiment. No, don't burn a client or something like that. But you know what? That's why technology in our industry continues to grow. It's because us as techs, we see, well, why can't we try it like this? Or I like this kind of a container. I mean, there's another member that we have that she makes the coolest containers that off of a 3D printer for our nail brushes and stuff. And how organized is that? Play around. If you have an idea, put it to fruition. I was blown away that I would ever have, I don't know if I'm going to have my own product line. I love teaching my workshops. I love working on my clients, and I love playing with products. If you have your own product line, it might limit me in that, and I have to stay focused. I don't want to stay focused. And so um, experiment, have fun. Let your clients know, hey, you know what? I've been working on something and I'm kind of excited about it. I don't know how the adhesion's going to be. I don't know if it's going to last 1 day or if it's going to last 10. But do you want to try it? Do you want to don't say be my guinea pig. Say, do you want to be my model? Do not discount it. Do not say I will give you less because what if it turns out to be phenomenal and you just discounted something? Instead, if it doesn't work, which I have done this, and let them know that you will be available to get them in at their convenience to be able to make it right. So then what you're doing is you're then they might come back in, but they're going to understand that. And they agreed to that in the beginning and they like that. Some people won't be your model for something like that. Some of them are like, nope, I don't want to change. But most of my clients were like, yeah, I want to try it. And now they love it. They're so excited for the next step. So anyway, Shane, I'd answer your question. Try it. You're going to like it. Okay.
Let's
Yes,
see.
Kathy, it's more expensive to go mobile. I do find that, and the cost of gas and the time to get to these people's houses, the time to set up, the time to take down, you're looking at almost double. You could get more people in that same time frame in the salon.
Hmm. Yeah, and another thing that we talked about before, Amy, is our relationships with our vendors. Um, to build a relationship with people that your representatives that come around with your products. We have a gal that used to come by the shop every Friday, filled up her van full of nail products, and all of it, it was like a little party out there, but I mean, we've known her for the whole 30 years, and she's part of our family. Um, some of the shop owners that I've met, they become your mentors and your friends because they've researched these products and they've opened the supply houses because they know what they're doing. And this is, of course, from back in the day. Um, but they were just real. It's really important to have a relationship with them. One of the people, if you retail anything, you know, a lot of places take it back. If the packaging's different, no, don't take it back. So you build those relationships, you're gonna, at least get something for a product that's not selling, or you know, I don't know. I mean, it's just nice to have relationships. If you call and you say, "Hey, what you need," and they get it ready for you, and you go in and pick it up. But aside from client relationships, I think um, your people that run the supply houses get to know that too.
Yeah. So when I very first got in the industry, um, it was hard to build up a clientele. And of course, I was never going to stay a nail tech for 25 years. I was going to be a paramedic. So I was also in school to become an EMT. And make a long story short, let's just say I'm not cut out to be an EMT. I would cry with them. And I just want to hug everybody and I want to hold them until they are better. And so I wasn't cut out for that. And so, I've tried other things, but I just kind of keep coming back. Well, one time I decided I'm going to become an educator for Kismet, which I'm dating myself again. They're not even in, I don't even think you can get Kismet anymore. Anyways, it was an acrylic system and it was sold from Intermountain Beauty Supply. And I was like, I'm going to become an educator through Intermountain Beauty Supply and I'm going to become an educator with Kismet and I'm going to travel the world and I'm going to teach people nails and that's what I'm going to do and I loved it. The problem is I would go in and likewise I had all these samples and all the hairdressers and nail techs and stuff would come around and they'd be like, "Oh, what samples do you have?" And they would take all my samples and they wouldn't order anything because I wasn't strong enough to say, "Well, I'll give you a sample if you buy some monomer." because I was a pushover. And so I'm not a salesperson either. So when it
I'm
came down to it though, it allowed me to see the other side though of the spectrum. So when I get a sales rep that walks through my door or calls me or texts me or whatever, and they said, "Hey Amy, I was thinking about you. I know that you like to do artwork and these new brushes came out." Boy, do they have me sold because they connected with me. And what's nice is when you have a rep, like, so I'm going to name out there. So Michael from Tammy Taylor is one of the best reps that I've ever met. He messages me, so he's not calling my salon. He's not trying to take me away from my clients. He sends me a message. And on the message, he has a picture of all their new stuff and everything that's on sale. And then I can text him back my order, which is great. Sometimes he throws freebies into my box and was like, "Hey, I thought about you. You ordered this last time and I wanted you to try this new oil or something that we have." Great salesmen, and they're wonderful at that. And so sometimes seeing the other side of the salesman aspect lets you have a little bit more respect for them and that. And so once again, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not good at that. But they taught me of what I should look for in the right salespeople. So I support the ones that come to me and bring me, good information like that. I'm going to move my phone over a little bit. And so the relationships that we build with them, so Shana was telling me the picture that she has up behind her is actually a relationship that she built with her beauty supplier. It was something that always stayed in, I believe you said State Beauty Supply. And when they were closing, they knew that Shana had interest in it and they gave that to her as a gift. And so it's knowing your suppliers and creating that relationship with them. And that way, if something's new, they want to share it with you, or they come to you for advice too, saying, "Hey, this other salon's not doing so well. You've been successful. What can I suggest to them?" Or network with them. Don't use it as a competitive thing. Use it as a positive thing.
Yeah, because I think, I mean, even standing in line, to strike up conversations, there's several people that were like new nail techs and they're like, I don't know what to buy. And even today, when I go into Sally's, there's somebody looking at all the nail stuff, and I'm like, I just strike up a conversation and said, "Well, do you need some help?" Even though I don't work there, it's like, "Do you need some help?" Because all this can be overwhelming, even if you're an amateur and you just want to do your own nails, you know, but it's like, I love this group because I love to help people. And that's what I wanted to do as my retirement is teach. So as I was thinking this, um, then the group came up and I'm like, wow, I can really make a difference and, help some people. And this is exactly, what I need to hone my teaching skills to try to verbally explain what you're physically doing. And that's really difficult to do.
Yes, yes, so true. Um, Tanya says you live in the Florida Keys and you never says I never see and have never seen a rep for any company.
Oh,
You
that's too bad.
know, I would say the reps are there and they're just missing your place. There's many ways that you can do that. You find the local beauty supplies in your area and ask them, do they have a rep that goes around from salon to salon? And if they do, they then get onto that list. Another thing you can do is call the company that you are using. So um, say for instance you're using an acrylic system. Call the company with the acrylic system and say, "I want a rep from your company to contact me with all your monthly specials. I want more of your mailings and stuff like that," and they will. And so like I mentioned with Michael with Tammy Taylor, he's not a rep in my area. Honestly, I don't even know what state he's in. He's in a different state, but the way he communicates with me, it's like he's been there for years. So I like that he's dedicated to that company. That makes me know that that company is good to him as well because he has stayed with them. And so you build a trust up with them. And so likewise, if there's something new, they get a hold of you. So call the companies that you use their products and tell them that you want to be added on a list for them, or you want a rep to be able to contact you with regular specials and see if that will help.
Yeah, because I think contacting, I mean, even if you want to try a product, contact that company and just have them send you samples. If
Mhm.
you don't want to pay for, you know, full size stuff, if the supplier has no kits, just ask them for a free sample. Most of the time they'll send them to you for free, and that way you have enough you can try it, but
Mhm.
you hate it, then you're not spending a wad on all this
Yeah.
product. Then what do you do with it? Try to find somebody that uses it, because a lot of times, they'll take stuff back, but it has to be like barely used. So, if you get a kit and you use up some of the stuff, the supplier may not give you your money back or a replacement, but the rep from the company might do something for you. So it's important to just keep a relationship with everybody, the suppliers and the reps, and even if, because I was saying that Tanya said they don't want to drive down, it's like, well, with social media and stuff and communication the way it is now, you could still, I would hope you could still contact those reps from whatever companies of what products you use, and they could send you stuff, as opposed
Mhm.
to driving down and like the texting with Amy and the Tammy Taylor guy. You can do it that way as opposed to them saying, no, we're not going to come down there.
Yeah. Yeah. And still continue to get online and research all the different products. Or like on nail techs, helping nail techs, people are always posting up different products. I've never heard of CJP, and I had never heard of Nao nails. And
Mhm.
so I ordered Nao. They'll mail it to the United States just because I want to know what it is. It's to me, it's a new name, even though it's been around for years. It's just in a different area. And so get online and use that to contact the companies and say, I'm interested in your product. What sets you apart of everybody else? And interview them the same way as they would make sure that you're going to use their products. Some of them want you to go exclusive in their salons, and I used to be exclusive. And so here's you can use this in many ways. So here's kind of an analogy. So years ago, I was a C&D, like Master Tech. I had taken all their classes and stuff to where not only was I licensed already, but if you continue to take their classes and became exclusive with their products and their e-file classes and their acrylic classes, their gel polish classes, then you continue to get certificates, and they called it like you were a Master Tech. Now that they go on, and now I think they're calling people ambassadors for their companies. I mean, it's all just kind of continue to change. So at the same time, Young Nails came out. And here I'm an exclusive salon. There's 7 of us girls in my salon, and we're all like rocking out some awesome nails. But then I look over, and another company is sprinkling glitter into their acrylic. And now there's glittered acrylic. And it's like, well, I want to do that. But my company wouldn't allow me to do that because they said it wouldn't hold up. They said that the glitter would break down and it would make it where you didn't have good adhesion. Well, what I found out is that they didn't have their own glitter line, so they didn't promote it. But
Mhm.
yet Young Nails had their own glitter line and they promoted it. So sometimes the companies can limit you. If you go exclusive, you're limited to what they have. You're not allowed to play with some of the other companies. That's why I stay as an independent consultant as well, as I like to play with all the different products.
Mhm.
So somebody asked earlier what acrylics that we use. I change. I really like let's say, so I really like creative. And what I like about creative, it's soft leveling. I love the clarity of it. I love the clarity of the white. I love that it's a little bit of a lower odor. Um, but I love Tammy Taylor. It's not self-leveling. So when I want to do 3D, or I want to do some extra buildups of certain things, or sculpting, I prefer to use it. And so you got to find what acrylic product, what gel product, whatever it is, works best for how fast your speed is. Sometimes the monomers are more quick set for like competition set, and some of them are a slower set. If you are doing a slower set and you get it on there fast and you go back to file, then your filing is happening before the product is completely set. So therefore, maybe you need a faster monomer, a faster set time so that you can turn around and file. So you have to find which one works best for you on ratio, consistency, what size brush do you want to use. Um, there's so many factors in there of acrylics. So even if I told you which ones are going to be my favorite, they might not be your favorite. But I
Mhm.
can tell you my favorites right now. I love Young Nails, I love Tammy Taylor, and I love Creative. And I love them all for different reasons. So what I use mostly in the salon though is Tammy Taylor.
Yeah, I've used create. I actually used Tammy Taylor in school. They were introducing it, and they did introduce a pink and white at that time, which I didn't even want to attempt. I watched it being done, and it's like, oh no. And now that's mostly all I do. But I love Tammy Taylor because I put my product on quick. So, and it sets up really fast. So I like that. Well, then Creative came out with all these different monomers. The Moxie sets up really fast. But I kind of found that I like the Retention Plus because, you can put it on there and it is somewhat self-leveling, but you have time to work with it because I think it's important you get one sheet of your acrylic. You don't want to piece it together. You want
Mhm.
to put like one bead down and spread it around and draw it down. So the more area that you have that's not pieced together, the stronger, the integrity is better. Um,
Mhm.
I like all the Young Nails art stuff. I've never really used any other acrylic system. Um, I'm just learning gel, so I don't know a whole lot about that. But I've gotten some gel polish and, played with that a little bit. Um, but yeah, the gel thing, I couldn't give advice.
What one thing I stress a whole lot though is that you don't really get a in the beginning get all these sample kits and then find which one works best for you. And then from there, perfect one product, get it to know it's great so that you can build that trust up with those clients. If you're constantly playing around and maybe you don't, they got a good full set from you once, but then all the fills are lifting, and maybe what it is it's not the technique. Maybe you change different products and your ratios are off or something, and then you lose that trust. And so work with one product and get to know it. I'm at another time in my career where I've specialized at acrylic. It doesn't matter what acrylic system I've used. I don't get the lifting. I know my prep. I work with ratios. And so once you really know how to work with one product, then you can get your clients to play around with some more products again. And so it's important not to jump around from product to product. Get one and know its ratio and work with it. Somebody had mentioned exclusive nail contour. I have been watching Max obsessively. I cannot wait to meet him. I think what he has done in his career is amazing. He has, he learned from his mom and she was a tech and then continues on, has his own product line. He knows his products. And I like, I'm still learning all the time too. And I learn from him. Anyways, I cannot wait to get his monomer. Supposedly it smells like cotton candy. And
Oh,
I've tried different additives in my monomer over the year. Like there was one of them came out that made it smell like apples and one made it smell like vanilla. And they've never quite taken off or diluted your monomer to where your ratios were off and then you had lifting. But it sounds like he's perfected a scented monomer, and I want it. I want it bad. And so playing around, and you're right. Some companies are going to be better for you versus others, and some of it, the budget. Some of them are super expensive. And you can perfect the same acrylic with a lot less expensive one. You can still use all the glitters and all of that, and so just know what's in your budget as well.
well, and I
Uh,
went to, Master Tech as well with Creative, and I like being able to, um, you know, guarantee my work. I guarantee my work because I know they're not going to come in with repairs or anything like that to inconvenience them. But I've never tried the scents. I always thought it would mess up the monomer. So I never tried the scent.
I've tried them over the years, but I think Max has it perfected. Okay, I'm going to move the other side. The sun, although I love the sun, I just want to bake in it. It's not going to be good for this. So Vicky's been asking us a few questions, and one of them was about music, and I play it mellow. I do like old, like little oldies. I'll do country. I've just learned to play it mellow because when I'm doing art, I'm a tapper with the music, and if it's kind of a fast beat, I'm doing a fast beat, and when it's a softer one, I'm more mellow. And so, anyways, Vicky, to answer your question for music, I go more mellow just because for me.
I let the client choose. Whatever they want to listen to is fine with me because I there's usually a genre that I like them all. So, um,
Yeah.
but I usually have it on, classic rock or something like that. Sometimes I'll get a CD and it's like, you want to hear this new CD?
Yeah.
But Def Leppard's my favorite group. So
Oh.
listen to Def Leppard once in a while. Vicky said, "Oh, I didn't know you were a wild child like in Def Leppard a while back." But but no, it's all in fun. But most of the time, I just let the client choose what they want to listen to.
Yeah.
Being
And
at
then Vicky,
home,
she wanted to know what the main reasons why you found over the years why clients don't return. Okay, I've tried to do research on this because I wanted to know how I could help myself, the girls that work for me, and stuff like that. How can I help retain it? I have found the number one reason why clients don't return is it's not in their budget. They save up the money. It's there for an event. They want them on. They love them, but they can't afford it. So sometimes because they can't afford it, they'll tell other people, oh, they didn't last as long as I want them to. Okay, they lasted 6 weeks. So sometimes their excuses are not to tell their friends, oh, I can't afford it. They try to make it more that it didn't work for them. In my case, they always say, I can't get back into her. She's too busy. I used
mhm.
to take offense to that because I'm like, no, that's not true. If you made an appointment and you stuck with your appointment, you have an appointment with me. And so I've learned that their excuses are not always accurate, but the reality is when we sit here one on one, they're like, I had to re-put this in my budget. And so I think the number one reason why they don't return is actually because they can't afford it. I think the second reason is that sometimes the texts don't listen to what they really wanted. They're not finding a way to relate what the picture that they had in their mind when they came in. They're leaving with what they feel is different, and they felt like they couldn't stress that enough. And I'm not talking about more of our salons where we're really listening and we're making it one on one, we're making it comfortable. I'm talking it more as they've done a walk-in. I call them convenient salons. They've done a walk-in convenient salon. They walk in saying, I wanted this, and they leave with not that. And so I think it's frustrating for them, and they don't know how to get to that next level because they've not yet quite met a tech like us where we're willing to listen and really accomplish what they're looking for.
That's what one thing that my clients do compliment me on. They really appreciate that I listen to them, and if they have a picture in their mind, Pinterest is can be our friend or not our friend, but it's when the client feels like they're the only one with undivided attention and they have a picture in their mind that they want nails that look like mine, but they have totally different nail beds. So
Mhm.
in that case, it may turn out to be something different, but when you talk to your client, you explain why. I think a lot of the things that if they don't turn out how you want them or they wanted this shape but it's not going to work, you want them to last. You don't want them to have to come in for repairs. So you've got to explain your procedure as you're doing it, as far as, matching the cuticle. Don't veer far away from that shape. Then you're not going to have the lifting.
Mhm.
Use underneath your nails because it keeps your nails flexible. It's not going to lift away from the product. Um, but if you just listen to them and tell them, even in technical terms, then you look great. saying, all this professional stuff, and they're like, huh? But they're impressed, and they remember that, and they remember that you listen to them, and whether they could get it or not. But they usually come back if you can explain why.
Yeah, yeah. Tina, I saw that you've asked this a couple times, so I apologize. There's so many questions, and we promise we will go through every single one and answer them if we feel that we didn't answer it enough on this live. So just know that we will answer them, even though that maybe didn't answer it here. You said that you want to know if companies will send you samples of their acrylic systems, and they do. Sometimes they might send you, like, it's a small sample, it might be enough to do a fill or a set, but sometimes you might have to pay for the shipping. Or they also have what they have is called trial kits, and it will come with a, like, let's say a file, a brush, maybe two monomers, maybe two different powders, like a pink and a white, or maybe two shades of pink, and they have a trial kit. And usually they're around $25 to $30, and then the shipping, maybe if they added on to that or not. So almost every company has a trial kit or a free sample or that you can get. All you have to do is contact them, and they're super nice about it. They want you to use their products, so they're gonna accommodate to you. And so just it's worth a try. I mean, they're not. What's going to be the worst thing that happens is that you wasted your time, and then if you contacted them and you didn't get the best customer service and they aren't working with you, is that really the company that you want to work with? So I think it'd
Exactly.
be a sign to continue to look on. How many clients do you have with square nails versus coffin shaped nails? That's a hard one. I have so many different shapes of for people that I do, but I can say that majority of my clients were I would say a shorter nail. So therefore, some of the shapes are harder to achieve to make them look good on them. And so I do what my client wants. If they want coffin, they get coffin. If they want square, they get square. I can say probably my most popular is more of what I would call a tapered square, which
Mhm.
I think nowadays is considered a short coffin. It's all the names are changing. And so I do a lot of that, but it's also because it's probably what's more popular over here.
I do a lot of square. I always do what the client wants. If they want a softer square, if they want long, if they want. I have one lady that has to have sharp corners to scratch herself. It's like, okay, you accommodate your client. Um, but the square lasts better, I think, just because if you're hard on your nails, you've got more area for if you jam it against something for the jamming space to adhere or adhere um to hit the whole square as opposed to a point. A point, you could break the tip off, and then you have to get it fixed because it looks way weird. A square, sometimes you can manage. If you break a corner off, you can kind of shape it, and get by. But um I would say, more of my younger clients and my granddaughters who are teenagers, they absolutely love the coffin shape. That and stiletto. I told my granddaughter, I'm not doing those on you because they don't pay me, first of all. Second of all, it's like, no, I don't want you ripping your nail bed off because that you don't. Mm-mm.
That's so funny. Okay, so Shayna, we've been on, it's been over an hour, and here we were worried that we didn't know what we'd be talking about. So I thank you guys for coming live with us and giving us questions. And, sometimes this might be an easier way for us to communicate. I don't know, but I plan on coming on every week live with a different guest. And I thank Shayna for, I mean, this was tough for her. She really had to think about doing this. And I don't know
I'm
if I bullied you or just begged my way through it, but
I'm not I'm pretty like low key. I always sat in the back of the salon or, you know, didn't want to be the center of attention, so it's kind of a challenge. I'm thinking outside the box.
good. Yes. And that's how this whole tech talk even came about, is out of the box, just totally, it's kind of, once again, we're trying to keep up with social media. This is where social media is going. It's easy for people to log on, stay on a few minutes. They can catch it later when it replays. So I think I don't know, I like it. It's a good system.
I think
So,
it's nice to put a face with a name. It's just usually just words or emojis or something like that. But when you can actually see face to face, it's like, did we ever think back in the day that this would be a reality? No.
no.
And like you said, I got my first cell phone. I was 26 when I got for my first cell phone, and it was that big block flip phone. But yeah,
Oh,
no, thank you for watching, everybody, and patient with me fumbling my words. And
yeah. All right. So, for all of you that stuck with me, I said at the beginning of this, I have a huge surprise. I did not realize that this tech talk was going to take me to the level that it did. And I only started this last week. I am admin on two different groups, so therefore we have tech talk going on two different groups. I was contacted from Nails Magazine again about doing another Q&A with them, and then about doing another type of publication. While I had Nails Magazine in my grasps, I asked them if the editor of Nails Magazine would ever go live with me and talk about what they look for when to publish something. What type of tech is it? The pictures? And I asked them if they'd go live, and they said yes.
really,
So I
that's awesome.
think next week we are working on the scheduling, if not, it'll be the week after. I'm not only going to have an editor of Nails Magazine join, but Ella from Nail Experts Academy. Ella, I can't say her last name and I do not want to butcher it, but Losh. She also has a book out called Nail Shapes Instructors. Ella's going to come live with me too. And if you've ever done any of her workshops, they're all online. They're similar to what we're doing now. She's an amazing, amazing tech, and she knows everything about shapes, structures, products, advertising, and all of that. So I only want to continue to grow this. It's free for you guys, but what we need is for you to join in, give us questions, give us feedback, because when I start looking up and I'm having a conversation with myself, which I can easily do, that means that this isn't the right avenue and that we're going to come up with something else. But if this continues to take off, then who knows who we can get on here to talk with us and educate us from the top level. But here's the other thing. I want all of you guys to come on lives as well. I want a newbie on here. I want somebody that's saying, Amy, I'm struggling and I need advice. I need to know how to build a clientele. I need to know what products and stuff like that. That's what we're here for. Use us. Shana and I have been in this industry, and so have so many other techs. I've been 25 years, almost 26 years. Shana's over 30 years. We've been around the bend. We might be kind of old and we might have kind of set ways, but that's just what we do. But we're also here to help you for free. So use us. We want to be used by you. This makes us feel good that we've done this long enough that we can help somebody else. So, anyways, we have all kinds of exciting things coming up on Tech Talk. I thank Heather for this group. I thank you for all the time that you've put in, and you've trusted us admin to continue to make it, something phenomenal. But really, it's the members of the group that continue to share every day, whether they're insecure about the picture that they're sharing and they just want some constructive criticism, or maybe they're so happy about they finally got the baby boomer nail out and they want the feedback of that. That's what this group's about. It's networking and sharing. And sometimes we have to pat ourselves on the back, and sometimes we need somebody else to do that for us. And so thank you guys for networking. It's wonderful. I love it.
And like you said, to be free too. I mean, you you have a question, if a class is worth it, one of us may have been through the class and we can tell you. Then you're not going to waste your money,
Yeah.
but we're here for all those little questions, don't be afraid to post anything. You know, in the past there's been some people that negative remarks, but you've got to just ignore them, because in a salon you're going to get that anyway, in a different way, not necessarily what we've seen in the group. But I really have a problem with people um, don't use constructive criticism the right way. And the people that get hurt by this, just thick skin. That's all that's going to get you through it is thick skin.
Yeah. And you can lean on us because we'll listen because we understand what you're going through.
We've been there, done that.
Yeah. All right. So in the comments, I will include the Groove book so that you guys can see that. They actually give me free coupons on the back, but I think if everybody turned in a Groove book, they would probably contact me and tell me that I can't give away any more free books. But let's try it. Let's see what they say. Anyways, I'll post this on there. Um, and leave some more questions if there's anything else that we forgot, and then Shana and I will go through and we'll answer some of your stuff. And Vicky, thank you for staying up late and joining us. And you're coming up. You're going to do a live with me because I will bully you and I will pressure you into doing a live with me as well. And then Emma does lives on Fridays where she does her own nails and her own clients. I mean, ladies, we're trying to build this up so that this is a great networking platform to really learn from and not just be a forum of here's a picture, here's what I did. We really want to work together and really work through a lot of this stuff. So
Right.
thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
All right.